Hello and welcome to Mission Nonprofit. I'm your host, Robert Kim. On Mission Nonprofit, we feature a local nonprofit organization from the Thurston County area. And this month, we're pleased to present the YWCA of Olympia. And with me to talk to you about the YWCA of Olympia is Tammy Stamp-Fleet, and she is the new executive director as of February, a few months ago, not too long. And so welcome to the YWCA, but you're not new to Olympia.
Right, I've lived in Olympia for a while.
Yep, and have you ever done work with the YWCA before?
I had not. So it's really great to be at the Y, and I really embrace the mission of the Y, so it's wonderful to work on behalf of that mission.
And the YWCA is, that building downtown, is it on Franklin? Is that where it is?
Excellent question. That is our friends, the YMCA,
Oh, that's the YMCA, okay.
Right? So we are on Union Street. And I always, it's great that we're partners with them. We get calls all the time for when the swim classes are and so forth. In fact, the other day I made a little sticky note with their number on it so I could quickly refer people to the YMCA.
That's good. We have to do that with Comcast. A lot of people call us thinking we're Comcast. So.
That's great.
But,
right. So yeah, we're different and also downtown.
Okay. So what kind of building is it? Do you have workout spaces and stuff? A lot of people think of the YWCA as a place you go to work out.
Right. So again, that would be our friends at the YMCA. But we have a beautiful old home, a 4-square home. It was built in 1908, and it's on Union Street. And it was, owned by the Kearney family at one point, and then we bought it in 1948 and started our work there in 1948, and it still stands. It looks kind of funny on the street because this is big old 4-square house in the middle of some larger commercial buildings, but yeah, we're there, a little carriage house. From
what I was envisioning the YWCA to be, but I'm sure the YWCA is a lot more than I thought it was.
Yeah,
apparently, after doing a little bit of research and looking at your website and stuff, you do a lot of good stuff, and you just came back from the National YWCA conference,
right?
Where they were talking about changing the YWCA.
Right. So we all met up in Washington D.C. So actually, for a number of decades, the Y has been a national organization. At first, actually, the YWCA first started in like the 1850s in London, and it was kind of when a women's prayer group and a social action group decided to come together to try to do things on behalf of women, and then it started, in the United States. And then throughout its time, it's kind of been on the leading edge of social action. So, in the 30s, the YWCA worked for 8-hour workdays for people and time off and workers' rights. And then when we kind of moved into the civil rights era, the Y was kind of a leading edge of that. So the YWCA worked to end the separation between races, even back then. So they weren't allowed to have two separate Ys. The Ys always were integrated, and it was a national prerogative that it was integrated. So it's always been national. I'd say, I might get this wrong, but about 20 years ago it became regional, and folks worked in more regions to deal with what was in their regions, and it became clear in time that we needed to kind of be re-strengthened as a national organization so that we could get a lot more of our advocacy and policy work done on a national basis. So we've just switched over this last January to being a national organization, and hopefully can use our strength as different associations in the nation to forward our advocacy work.
And I read something about a bill that I guess the YWCA is trying to get passed. Can you help me with it?
So Violence Against Women Act was one of our
VAWA.
3 priorities, and it was finally passed by Congress, and we're really pleased about that. It's done.
Congratulations.
Yay. And then the next priority is the immigration reform bill. And so when I was in D.C., we had the opportunity to lobby our Congress folk and had the chance to meet with Denny Heck and had the chance to meet with Cantwell's staff. And we just had a great time explaining why we're really in favor of immigration reform, and really pleased that has passed the Senate. And so now we're hoping that the House will pass a similar piece of legislation and move that along.
I had no idea that the YWCA would be involved in immigration reform. That's very interesting.
And then our third priority is to have a fair federal budget for for all people. We obviously we're always looking out for people of color, and we're looking out for the poor, and so we'd like to see a national budget that reflects those priorities. So that's kind of where we're putting all of our advocacy energy right now, and local associations are also trying to help work on that and contact, organize our folks locally and then contact our Congress folk to try to move those items along.
And you were talking about back in the 30s and what the YWCA did back in the 30s. Were they helpful with getting women the right to vote? Wasn't that?
They worked really hard on lots of fronts. A big one was on labor reform. And then when they first started opening sort of local offices and houses, they were often boarding houses or places for women to live that, wasn't okay for, I guess, women to live on their own. So they had those opportunities. And our own house at first was a boarding house for women. So, but
you mean the house
on
that the
Union,
YWCA is in now?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. So over the years, as we adapt to the needs of culture and the changing needs of women, we've adapted what we do. So most of our associations have given up on their pools and their workout rooms. Not that that's not important, but wanting to put a lot more energy into, we do a lot of programs nationally and around the country with domestic violence, programs for children, programs for the poor, that sort of thing. So
I had no idea that it was going that direction. You always think of a place you go work out.
Yeah.
We might not have the workout facilities here, but other cities across the country, their YWCA is a place you go work out and go swimming and stuff. Am I right?
It really has changed a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much all Ys have gone to services for the poor and services for women and services for people of color. So it's been a big change. And folks, if they're hanging onto their pools, it's usually because it's a really important thing for the community and they don't have any other access. So, but I would say nationally that has become less a priority.
Interesting. So they probably won't be building new, gyms and stuff, or they might do a little bit, but they're going in a different direction.
Right.
They're going towards social reform.
Right, and I really, yes, and always have been. Yeah, the YWCA has always been about social reform.
It's just you don't think of it that way, right?
And that's why I guess we need to get the word out.
Yeah, we do. We need to talk to people. We need to tell them they need to go to your website because that's the best way to get in contact with you guys, and that is ywcaofolympia.org.
Correct.
So if you wanted to learn more and if they wanted to volunteer, you have a place for them to volunteer and donate. And if there are young girls that needed a place for after-school care or summer camps and stuff, you have all that stuff.
I'd love to talk about our girls programs. So
Let's do that.
Yeah, we have a couple of girls programs that are just absolutely wonderful. So right now, even as we speak, our Girls Without Limits camp is going on. We have a couple of camps in the summer. We have Saturday camps. We have spring break camp. We're probably going to offer a winter camp this year. But it focuses in the STEM activities, so science, technology, engineering, and math, where girls are typically kind of, not fostered along as we foster our boys along in those particular subjects. So that's one of the things that we think is really important. So it's really great because we have, women that are in those fields coming along and mentoring the girls and then exposing them to opportunities. In fact, they are coming to TCTV to
I know,
look
it's
around.
For a field trip on Friday.
I know, and learn more about this technology. And so we're excited about that.
Well,
so
we are too.
We also have Girls Circle, which meets in 14 schools throughout Thurston County. And it's girls meeting together after school with our Girls Circle facilitators and hopefully gaining some resiliency and some kind of strength in their own voice and making connections with other girls, ultimately so that they can be strengthened to avoid intimate partner violence down the road. So kind of catching them early in middle school so that later on they're stronger women. So those are a couple of our girls programs. Yeah,
and that just reminded me of some PSAs that you guys have made, the violence in relationships.
Right.
And we're talking about preteens and teens. We're talking about middle school age girls mostly. Is that kind of what your focus is?
Right. I mean, we have one of our girls' circles at a high school, but we do mostly middle school girls. And in the particular one that you're mentioning, it was at our Technically Speaking spring break camp, and we partnered with our community partner Together, who is one of our friends in the community we work with. And the girls produced these PSAs, and they also worked with, so Together had actually some boys through one of their programs participate, and so you get a little bit from both gender, which is pretty neat. So already getting them to start thinking about healthy relationships and maybe in the future healthy dating relationships.
And getting the girls to make a video. That's what we like.
Yes, absolutely.
We're all about that.
Yeah.
We love to help people make videos and then show people the videos that people have made. So why don't we show the audience out there a couple of these promos that you guys did in a spring break camp. How
Great.
exciting.
Thank you, that'd be great.
The spring break camp, and they spent the week working on these PSAs. And
They did.
that sounds like a blast. So why don't we take a look at them? We'll come back and talk more
Thank
about
you.
the YWCA.
All right.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Kind, faithful, trustworthy, stands up for somebody, is caring.
A healthy relationship looks like for someone my age is someone who respects me and stands up for me and listens to me.
Both people need to be equal, and both of them need to be a part of something that create a whole, basically.
A relationship should be mostly based off of mutual respect, where the two people, you know, they like who each other are, and they respect what they do, and they enjoy the people for who they are and who they want to be, and they'll try and help them get to that place.
Hi, welcome back to Mission Nonprofit. I'm your host, Robert Kam. And this month on Mission Nonprofit, we're featuring the YWCA of Olympia. And you just saw a couple of PSAs produced by girls in a spring break camp. And Tammy Stampfleet is with me. She's the executive director. And so those were great little PSAs about healthy relationships
Right.
for girls.
Right.
And these are middle school girls. And they made this, that's so cool. They made those themselves with Together.
Right?
So, and so how many girls are in those camps?
So we have about 20 each
Wow, that's
camp.
pretty
So we
big.
have a camp going on now, and spring break. You had to just go down there. It was crazy. We have a girls club room in our house, and full of girls, and lots of. They wrote their own storyboards. They figured out how to do it, and then they were taught each step along the way how to make a video, how to come up with their story, how to edit, and so forth. So they were really proud of their work, and they should be.
So who taught them all that? You guys had your own people? You brought people
We
in?
had our own people.
Together
Together
knew
certainly has a
the
lot of
ropes.
technological background, and then your staff, of course, was also helpful. So yeah, they were guided along the way, and it was great. So.
Yeah, I know we've done some work with Together, so maybe some of the things we taught them rubbed off. That's
Right.
good. That's good. So yeah, good messages. And so you've got those camps going on all summer, and then spring break and in the winter.
Right.
And that's called the Girls Without Limits program.
Right.
Okay.
Girls, and this week, I guess their focus is on the environment, and so we have a women's panel coming on Thursday, and the girls will get to interact with women who work in the field, find out more about it, and then they're again going to be producing some videos and doing some of their own work again this week. Yeah.
Well, I hope you'll send us those videos and we can
Great.
put them on TCTV.
Wonderful.
All right. So those are all held at your facility
Right.
downtown.
Right.
Okay.
We have a girls' club house in our basement, which is actually quite beautiful and very kid-friendly. So.
And that's the camps in the summer and in spring break and in the winter quarter
Right.
when school's out.
And then we again have Saturdays as well for Saturday camps.
Oh, is that like year round?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
So monthly, so that the girls can come and continue to work in those areas, those STEM activities. So.
Once a month on a Saturday, so
Right.
they can still do it during the school year.
Right.
And then you also have the Girls Circle, which is during the school year.
Right, and Girls Circle, as I mentioned, meets in 14 different schools, and we have wonderful trained Girls Circle facilitators that are part of our staff that go into schools and do the different activities with the girls every week. And the girls, they love it. It's really important to them. This last quarter or whatever, the things like the Queen of My Body was one of their favorite daily lessons. Just again, learning how to value themselves, learning how to find their own voice, learning how to speak up for themselves. It's
And that's
really
important for young girls these days. They have so much pressure from
Right.
all these images in the media of the perfect. Oh gosh, don't get me started on that. But
Right, absolutely. So
I'm glad that you counteract some of that. Somebody needs to, because it's just too much pressure.
I'm glad we're doing it too. Yeah, and it's through the Office of Women's Health. It's a grant, again, to try to, intimate partner violence is a real problem in our county. And so the Office of Women's Health felt really strongly that this is something we need to address and again, try to catch girls when they're young and could start having kind of a stronger sense of who they are and maybe avoid those situations in the future. So, yeah.
And the videos you're making this summer, are they about the same?
So right now they're
concepts?
working, right now at Girls Without Limits camp, they're working on the environment.
Okay.
So again, we're always doing different things at the camp too. They take a lot of field trips and they go and look at places like DigiPen, places where they can learn like future careers in technology and other sciences. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And so this Girls Circle, that's the after-school care. Or
Right, not
I
really
wouldn't call it
care,
but
right, it's
the after-school program.
It's a group for girls.
Okay.
Right.
And but it happens at their school.
It does happen
So they
at their
just stay
school.
at school, go to a certain room or
Right.
something, and there's somebody from the Girl Scouts there.
The Girls Circle
I'm
facilitators.
sorry, I said Girl Scouts. I meant YWCA.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so there's somebody from the YWCA in the room where
One of our
they're meeting.
staffers, right, who has
Gotcha.
training. So
Okay.
yeah, so lots of positive feedback about that. This next year, we are wanting to particularly study and address, I don't know if you're familiar with ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences, and there are a number of those, and actually Thurston County is the third highest of people who've experienced ACEs. So it's again, things like childhood traumas, like everything from suicide of a family member, or divorce, or abuse, or whatever. We actually have a lot of people in Thurston County who've suffered with that. So one of the things in particular we want to look at in Girls Circle in this next year is thinking about how to address that and how to, again, make girls more resilient in the face of childhood trauma and things that they may have dealt with. So.
This is all free programs?
Yes, it's
Oh my
well,
goodness.
the camps, there is a fee,
Okay.
but we also don't turn anyone away. So a lot of the girls are scholarshiped, and
Gotcha.
we have some very generous funders who take care of the scholarships.
And you help out people that are underprivileged in other ways too.
Right, so the Other Bank program is one of our programs that has been around since 1986, and it is in our carriage house next to our main big house. And folks come on Wednesdays and they can get all the kinds of supplies that you can't get with food stamps or get other places. So
Like the food bank.
right, so
This is
things.
the other bank.
This is the Other Bank.
The
So
Other
things
Bank.
like toilet paper and soap and laundry soap and personal care items and so forth. So we have about 100, 150 folks a week come in needing that kind of assistance. Typically, I would say 77% of our families that come are female-led, so a lot of single parents taking care of the family. They have a family income of about $680 a month,
Whoa.
and about half of our clients are under 18, so a lot of children are helped through the other bank.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, it's folks who are really, really in need of these extra things, and so
Well, yeah, because you can't get shampoo at the food bank, and you can't buy it with food stamps.
right. So really important, and it's been a really good ongoing thing. One of the cool things that Other Bank did in the last few months was they offered a retreat. So we had our a wonderful evergreen intern who organized that, and of course we all pitched in and helped. But so our Other Bank clients, these women I've talked about, came, and the Baptist Church downtown hosted us, and it was organized for them to have, haircuts, massages, fun crafts, just things, relaxing and fun things to do for the day. So board members brought salads and pizza, and it was a really nice day.
That sounds great.
The coolest thing about the end of the day is the women that were the clients, the participants said, hey, next time you have one of these, let us know because we want to help organize it. So it felt really exciting to see them say, hey, I can make this happen for myself.
Will you guys do that again?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was it called? What did you call it?
It was a retreat.
The retreat?
A retreat day for our Other Bank
So
clients.
you think maybe you'll do it once a year or
Yeah, who
something like
knows?
that?
Hopefully at least that, if not more.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it was really empowering for these women to have this opportunity. So, yeah.
So with the Other Bank, is it just women, or are there men can go to the Other Bank too?
Absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely. Women, men, families, children,
Yeah.
anybody who needs it. It's for everybody.
That's great. Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
at your facility.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we're also in conversations with the Thurston County Food Bank, exploring a partnership so that both of us can better serve our clients. A little
At
more
least
one-stop
referrals.
shopping, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
If you
so we're
put it
going
all in
to
one place, or
hopefully
if you had
exchange
referrals.
some of our items so that people can come to one place and offer different hours.
Oh, that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
so that we can-
You can have food, and then they can have the other stuff.
Exactly.
And
So,
do a little swap.
yeah, Thurston County Food Bank, wonderful partner, and so we're looking forward to moving forward together with them. So, yeah, so good things.
Yeah, and there's something coming up that you guys are also doing that's called the Women of Achievement, and this is a YWCA of Olympia thing.
Right, a very exciting event. So it'll be in November, and our women are nominated to be a Women of Achievement recipient. So it's women in the community who've done a lot for the community in various and sundry ways. And so they are selected and they are honored, and it's an event we love and we look forward to. It's really powerful to be around people who've made such a difference in the life of our community, and so we're really looking forward to that. I was mentioning that our national association kind of stole the idea from local associations. A lot of local associations honor women, and had an opportunity to be part of that when I went to the national event that I mentioned. And the women there that were honored were also incredible. Women who have, one woman who started this foundation called the Love Foundation, who helps, as we were talking about girls in intimate partner violence. Her daughter was murdered by a boyfriend in college.
gosh.
So she started a foundation, and through that foundation has created some apps that college women can download on their phone to either sort of figure out when they're in danger or reach out for help. Other women that were honored were women that do a lot of work on behalf of the poor, on behalf of underserved people groups. So it was really, again, a powerful experience to see folks who work so hard on behalf of the community, whether that's nationally or locally. And we have a lot of people who do a lot. It's great to have an opportunity to honor them. So we look forward to that in November.
Yeah, but you're accepting the nominations now. And
Absolutely.
Anybody can be nominated that's in Thurston County?
Yeah, any woman in Thurston
Any
County.
woman in
There will
Thurston
be
County.
more information out on our website about how to do that.
And I remember the deadline was August 30th, so they got to get that in before August.
Start clicking in, right?
Yep, start doing it now.
Yeah.
And then, the event will take place in November 6th. Is that the date? Okay. So they can go to your website, which is ywcaofolympia.org, and they can they nominate there? Is there a link or something, or should they just?
It'll be there, so
It
they
will,
can
okay.
get the form. And so yeah, it's actually the 7th of November. Our
Okay,
big event.
November
yeah.
7th.
But it'll again be on our website.
And it'll be on the
and
website.
Everyone can find out how to come and participate. It'll be a great. It's always a really heartwarming, really powerful event.
How many women are chosen?
You know, different years have had different amounts of women, so we don't limit it necessarily, you know, depending on, but yeah, so.
So you don't know.
I don't know
We'll
yet.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see how many women of achievement
There is a
there
selection
are.
committee, but we like to honor the ones that just stand out in their achievement in the community, so.
And is this kind of like a luncheon thing?
It's a
Other
dinner.
things? It's a
an
dinner.
elegant evening.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
Is it planned yet? Do you have the
We are,
location and
we are
everything?
on the way, yes.
Okay.
We are on the way with our planning on that, so, yeah.
So just the awards, do they receive something, and or they probably get maybe put on the website?
Well, right, we honor them, we give them an award, we put them on the website, we do their biographies so that
Nice.
everyone can see them
Good.
and hopefully be inspired by the work that they do. So, yeah, so you can look on our website now and see some of our Women of Achievement.
Oh yeah, from
Yeah.
the years past.
Yeah, and actually a more immediate event we're actually in the midst of. It's an event that some of our sister associations do, but it's called In Their Shoes. And so what we've done is we've posted some pictures of shoes of some of our clients, be they other bank clients or our girls' clients, and something about their story. And we're inviting our community members to kind of just take a moment and to sort of put on the shoes or walk in the shoes of someone whose life might be different than theirs. So yeah, we'll
That's
celebrate
okay.
that online. So again, folks can come and take a peek and see some of those stories about those people whose shoes that we should take a minute to think about what their lives are like. So.
We have to wrap up now, but I just wanted to say your website again, which is YWCA.Olympia.org, and give you a final minute here to mention anything else that you haven't talked about. And I know people might want to go out there and go to your website and learn how they can volunteer, learn how they can donate and all that stuff. But
yeah, one of the things I'm most excited about is I've never been anywhere where volunteers just walk through the door. They literally just walk through the door and say, how can I help?
great.
And so that is really inspirational for the rest of us who work there to have community members walk in and say, what can I do? And I think it speaks a lot about our community. We have very caring people in Thurston County. And we are also really honored with all the partners we work with in many venues, including TCTV.
Yes, and we
But
love working with you guys
Thurston
too. so-
Together and all of our other many partners who are so kind and generous with their time. So
Well, hope we do more in the future and, well, keep doing things together. So
great.
we'll wrap that up.
Thank you so much for having us
Thank
today.
you,
Appreciate
and
it very
welcome
much.
to the YWCA of Olympia. So, well, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next month on Mission Nonprofit. Thanks for watching. If you know of a local nonprofit that's making a difference in our community, give us a call at 956-3100 extension 103 or send an email to rkam@tctv.net.